Cujo Sound, and this is Bjørn Jacobsen speaking to you from this lovely day in Copenhagen. If you think my voice is a little different from some of the previous videos, then take this moment to think about what you're hearing. And this is the clear difference between two identical processing chains, but two different rooms and two different microphones. Normally I'm using an ADK vintage valve for my microphone voice recordings, but today I am being shot at with a Sennheiser 416, a shotgun mic. It's a brilliant microphone, but they have very different profiles. This video is about Detroit Become Human and some of the interesting things I have found in the soundscapes of that game. Right here, let's talk about the footsteps and material tagging, but first, a disclaimer, and that is that this is game audio talk. It's not a review of the game, and I'm not bashing anything. I'm only talking about the sound design, how and why it may be done the way it is, and other interesting facts about the game audio. Let's roll. Let's game audio talk about the footsteps here. Detroit has, like most other games, been tagging materials and mixes between various steps and has a lot of custom steps and materials designed. Tagging a material works briefly like this. You select an area, a material, an asset, or anything else, and you assign a tag to it. Usually everything can have multiple tags, or even whole layers of tag can be exported and used for multiple things across the game. Here is tagged with wood, floorboard, or boards, call it whatever you want. And here, it's tagged with carpet, rug, cloth, or similar. This is an easy approach because then you can concentrate on having your animations just trigger a step or have a system calculate what type of step you're taking, and then only have one event or call to your sound engine saying play footsteps. And then you can use the tag from the material to specify which material you're stepping on. Finding out which tag is at a specific location is done with the so-called Raycast. Whenever you need it, you cast a ray in the direction you want, and it will return to the code whenever you want and specify the value that you requested. As an example here, we have a character, and whenever it takes a step, we could cast a ray from the character right here, and tell the code to return the value footstep tag. Whenever it hits anything, or the first thing it hits that has this tag, will come back to us. Some games use just one ray depending on when you need it. It all depends on how your system is set up. Some have a ray just below the character. Some have a ray from whatever main point is decided on the character, so it could also be from the head or chest or any other object on the character. Some have more advanced systems depending on what you need, where a ray is cast from each foot to create a more detailed step system than with just one ray being cast from the character. Some systems have individual tags per material. This works in most cases, but sometimes, and also because of engine limits or for older systems, maps were being generated. This can be done by taking a top-down view of an entire level and generate it as a regular grayscale BMP file in the resolution that you want. That gives you a 256 different types of value per pixel, and you can then have a Raycast interact with this map and ask for its value. This provides you with a very efficient and small-sized file which can contain all of your footstep values. But usually it's easier to have a slightly more advanced tagging system with a named tag and not a value per material. And the tag can be reused and added to assets permanently, so you don't have to worry about artists adding the asset without it being tagged. Because that's how game dev work. You just tag stuff and you pray that nothing changes because nothing ever does in game dev. I'm telling the truth.
Come on, Alice, we've got to hurry.
The steps in Detroit are great. Walking in the rain here, it's not the same kind of rain/water step as in a different part of the game where you're also walking in the rain. And walking here on this concrete is also not the same concrete as in other places of the game, meaning that they must have created quite an extensive library for these steps when making the game. It's a joy to listen to, and it's great to just walk around. That being said, using tags like this also have its problems. Not limitations, but more problems from modern game dev productions. Because let's say we create a tag like this one here, called something unique and level specific, like metal_Marcus_ledge_stairway. And that sounds great when you're walking on this old metal bridge stairway thing, which it is meant to be used at. Walking on other metals like this then have a different tag, like metal, floor, type 1, and so on and on. The problem here is that, as I just mentioned before, it was efficient, is that it becomes hard to keep track of all these tags. Like here, the step on this small metal piece on this floor. This, to me, sounds like a generic metal tag was created at some point and used whenever a unique tag could not be assigned or production assumed that there was no time to do so. This is also okay and would work in most cases, but in some cases, the generic metal sound may be too big, too small, or too hollow for specific places, just like here. Take a note as we walk over this tiny metal grill here on the floor. Sounds a little too big, hollow, or just different from what you see, right? Compared to this metal here, which is pretty much spot on to the visuals. The other one on the floor just seems off. So generic materials are great to use, only problem is that they may also stand out, especially if the rest of the game is as detailed as this. Before this video ends, I want to talk a little bit about splitting up footsteps, because that's exactly what they do here in Detroit. Walking in the rain here, as shown earlier, because all the scenes are so linear in character, it's easy for the developer to create the steps. Like, you cannot change footwear as you go, so they know exactly what footwear and which material is going to be placed right here. So to create some randomness and avoid repetition, they've split the steps up into at least 2 layers. Most likely the shoe on the material, like leather and concrete, and then added the water next to it as an add-on. This gives you much more variety, and it's cheaper on memory and disk space in the long run if you do so, compared to creating 25 or 50 variations hard-coded. The important part of splitting steps in 2 is that the step and the add-on sound is played at the exact same time, and they are exact same perceived amplitude, and more importantly that they have the exact same length, or at least they fit one another. At one point in the game, and I don't know why, I just noticed that in this specific room, the steps and the add-on are out of sync. This is how I know that they used at least 2 layers for the steps, as I just said. But also that this room has a different step and add-on than the room that we just came from, which shows a lot of detail to this building that we're in right now. But let's enjoy these asynchronous steps for a second. As much as this is clearly not intended, then let me remind you that I think this game sounds great. I'm just nitpicking on this particular room, tag, and how it plays. There's no gameplay in this room here either, so there's absolutely no point in being in this room besides just listening to the footsteps and these ambient sounds. That's it for some of the talk about footsteps and tagging and using Detroit Become Human as an example. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you would like to know more about Cujo Sound and Game Audio Talk, then why not hit the like button and subscribe here for more game audio content. You can also, if you like, head over to patreon.com/Cujo Sound and sign up there for as little as $1 a month. This helps me sustain this channel and the time I spend on creating all this material. On patreon.com/Cujo Sound, you can also find all the previous posts of mine, links to articles, and more. Signing up there, you also gain access to personalized counseling, consulting, supervision, career advice, and more, and I'm glad to help you out with your project and help you out with anything game audio dev related. You can also ask questions and I'll answer. Consider it, I would really appreciate it. But again, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again some other time. Cujo Sound and Bjørn Jacobsen, signing out.